Hello there! This video is going to walk you through how to do a t-test for independent samples in Excel and also create a beautiful figure to display your means and your standard error. So let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at this data and making sense of it. So here in column A, you see GPA data, and then here in column B, you see data classifying students as either being a first-gen college student, as you see at the top, or a not first-gen college student. So it's important to note that my data is already sorted by first-gen status, which is going to help us set up the data here in a minute for the analysis. But if you aren't there yet, if you don't have your data for your independent variable sorted, right? This is our category that we're going to make comparisons on, our two groups. And then this is our dependent variable that we're going to actually compare based on first-gen status. So if you don't already have your data sorted by your IV, your independent variable, just highlight it all. And then go to sort and filter and sort A to Z. Yeah. Make sure that you always expand the selection and it's already there. So to run a t-test for independent samples, you have to have each column that you're using represent the two different groups that you are comparing based on your independent variable. So first, I'm going to copy this. You can hit copy and paste. We need to have our GPA data. Let's double click to expand that. Our GPA data for first-gen college students right below here. So I'm just going to scroll down till we get to that last first-gen student, copy their data, and then paste it right in there. Now our second group are the non-first-gen students. So I'll just copy that label, paste it right there. I'm going to do a little double click action so that the column is the right width, and go steal that GPA data for the non-first gen students. So here we go. So I just copied it and paste. Okay. Now before you do a t-test for independent samples, you have to decide if you're going to run that analysis assuming equal or unequal variances. And to figure that out, you need to do an f-test. So we're going to highlight this. Well, we don't have to highlight the data yet. Let's actually go to the Data tab and grab the Data Analysis. Now, if you don't have Data Analysis on your computer yet, you can go to File, Options, Add-ins, select Analysis Toolpack, make sure Excel Add-ins is selected and hit Go, and make sure that's checked and hit OK. And you'll have this awesome tool here under the Data tab. All right, Data Analysis. Let's do an f-test right here. F-test to sample for variances. Okay. So I've already done this analysis, but I'm going to show you again. So you highlight this variable 1, and then you can highlight the column of your data. And then variable 2, just the data for the second group. All right. Make sure labels is checked because we included the label in each of these rows. Oh, look what I did. Making a mess. There we go. But make sure labels is checked, have your alpha be whatever it is for your analysis, and then you can have your output range. You could just click in this box and tell it, I want it right here in my worksheet. You could also have it go in a new worksheet if you want, but I usually just stick it right there with my stuff. Okay, so here we go. We're going to click OK. All right, so we got this output pop up, but before we can interpret it, let's go ahead and just format our numbers. The numbers worked out this time, but it doesn't always. So you just highlight your actual values, right click, go to Format Cells, Number, and let's do 3 decimal places. All right, so we're going to double click. You only get a one-tailed p-value here, and I want a two-tailed value, so I'm just going to do equals, click on my one-tailed value, multiply by 2. All right, this is my two-tailed p-value for the f-test, not the t-test, but the preliminary f-test. And what this tells me is that my p-value is much greater than 0.05, which is my alpha level. So I do not have a significant difference in variances. And you can actually see that here. Check it out. My variances are really, really close. So they're similar enough that I can run the traditional t-test. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go to Data, Data Analysis. And we're going to do the t-test. See, there's two different to sample, right? we're going to do the one that assumes equal variances because our p-value was greater than 0.05 here. But if yours was less than 0.05, you would run the assuming unequal variances version. All right, so you can see I ran this analysis already, so it's already kind of pre-selected, but you'd click on the variable 1 range, highlight your data for your first group, click on variable 2 range, highlight the data for your second group, make sure labels are checked, and then for our output range, I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right here. I guess I already did. All right, here we go. Hit OK. All right, now we need to edit these values. The whole thing is selected, and that's fine. I'm just going to right-click, Format Cells, Number, and 3 decimal places. All right, now we can start to look at this. I'm going to do a little double-click action to get it to fit. Now we can take a look at this. Well, our means are the exact same, which is wild. It's super rare that even by chance you would get two means that are the exact same for two different groups, but in this case they are. Slightly different variances, but not significantly different, right? And if we go down here, and as we would expect, since the means are the exact same, our p-value is way above 0.05. It's the highest p-value possible because there really is no difference. So we know there's definitely not a significant difference. You can see here, I'm really focusing on the two-tail values. Again, if you're doing a one-tailed test, you would be looking here. But no matter how you slice it, p is greater than 0.05, not significant. Also, your t-stat, super low because these are identical, is less than your t-crits. That also tells you that the results are not significant. There's not a significant difference in GPA, right, our variable we were looking at, based on first-gen college student status. I'm still going to show you how to make a pretty picture of these results, even though they are not, there's no significant differences, but it's still really interesting. So here we go. What we need to do now to make our pivot table figure is to go ahead and highlight that original data. Not the data that you prepared, but the original data. Then you are going to go to Insert, Pivot Table, and let's just do a new worksheet. And see that data is already selected. If it wasn't, you could select it right now. So you want your independent variable, your categories, to be the basis of your rows, and then GPA to be the basis of your values. Now it defaulted to sum, but we don't want the sum. So I'm going to click this box right here, go to Value Field Settings, and I'm going to base this on the average because t-tests are really centered around the mean, and the average is the mean. So that's what we're going to do here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this blank. There was one person in the data set that did not indicate if they were first gen or not, and I'm just going to remove them from the data. So I click this little arrow next to row labels and just get rid of the blank. All right. Now you want to make sure you have your pivot table selected and go to Pivot Table Analyze, Pivot Chart. I'm going to go ahead and go with this column chart. So this is all good, but we've got a couple of things missing. So the first thing that we want to do is prevent this situation. Look at this. We know our means are really similar. When they're rounded to the hundreds place, we have 3.35. Now when you round out, further, there are minor differences. But look what this axis did. It tried to really overstate these differences, and that's not okay. So we're going to click on this, right-click, Format Axis. This is just bad statistics in action, right? I could post this and be like, wow, look, non-first-gen students had such a higher GPA, but that's very misleading. So we're going to make our minimum be 0 because it's the lowest GPA possible, and our maximum be a 4.0. And now we have something that actually reflects the fact that we really don't have much of a difference here. Now let's add our error bars and a y-axis label. So we're going to go into Design, make sure your chart's selected or that won't pop up. Add chart element, axis titles, vertical. I'm going to label this GPA. And then I'm going to get rid of this and add my error bars. So error bars, standard error. And delete this total. And boom, you have a beautiful figure to represent your analysis. So I hope this was useful for you and that you can use this on your own and create very beautiful figures representing your t-tests for independent exams.